F.E.A.R, aka Mummy, Mummy, why is it dark, Mummy? Help me, please. Occasionally called SCP Slow Mo Man. Undead, unluck, unalives. A science witch spirit mom devil with guns. If that does not make sense to you, it's because the game came out in the 2000s. Even Shadow the Hedgehog, famous for reciting the Bible in Japanese, had a gun. A god had a gun. The ultimate life form had a gun. Agustin Naruto. No. No, at least I don't think so. Even if you did, I'd send you to the Shadow Realm.
Well, guess what?
What?
Оставили.
Извини?
Извини, Майкл Джексон или Шарон Кассис. Сука.
Where did you get the gun? And it doesn't even make sense as a punchline. Put it down! Put it down! Before water ignited on fire, anime had uncomfortable amounts of fan service, and humanity wrote down its first ever story. I'm talking about Gilgamesh. There existed the primordial concept of F.E.A.R. F.E.A.R. Yes, I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Well, F.E.A.R is F.E.A.R is how am I supposed to explain? Okay, just look at this. It didn't scare you? Well, it's fine. F.E.A.R is an acquired taste. I'ma stop with the F.E.A.R bit. I'm getting tired. Okay, look. Fear is an emotional response to threats, and it helps us survive from this. And what does the feeling of fear have to do with the game F.E.A.R? It's a horror, sort of, kind of. Well, it is a horror, but most of the game you spend being a badass military guy, and sometimes ghosts jump scare you or invulnerable things run towards you. And if you're lucky enough, you get to hallucinate a scary thing. I am a scaredy cat. That is to say, horror games are my personal hell. But hell can also be Elysium. Disco Elysium. Anyway, the game F.E.A.R, aka First Encounter Assault Recon, some heavy SCP energy from this one, follows a guy named William F.E.A.R, who runs around cramped spaces doing slow-mo cool stunts while investigating paranormal, cannibal, super soldier army activities. Very convoluted. Also, there's a witch ghost kid named Alma. She's William F.E.A.R's. She and her kid are responsible for most of the horror in the game. That and William's subconscious, I think.
Therefore, I am.
And by most of the horror, I mean the insanely well-made enemy AI that keeps you on your toes all the time. Oh, and the ghosts. Never forget about
the ghosts.
Remember what? The segue to the AI segment. As I previously mentioned, the enemy AI in F.E.A.R is really good. But not in the write my essay about how capitalism grinds down every form of culture into a nothing burger that is palatable to everyone, but more in the if you're not careful and very attentive, I will flank you, and I will redacted you. It's really impressive, considering the AI forced me to instantaneously change the way I play the game from, hey, I am slow-mo gun maniac Jumpman, to, I have to check every corner or I will get ambushed. And even the power of God and anime on my side won't help me survive. And that paranoia, mixed with the oppressing, isolating soundtrack, is the perfect catalyst for this.
This way.
God damn. Not all the AI will try to flank and undead unlock unalive you by outwitting you. There are also tank/robot enemies that know you ain't shit, and they can easily deal with you just by walking straight and shooting at you. But I am shit! I am shit! All of them die! Truthfully, I ain't a shit when it comes to drones. I have no excuses. They are just too hard. Speaking of heart, that's what she said. Rasush, I am talking about the enemies. Let's just group the AI segments with the enemy segment. The super soldier enemies break down into a couple of tiers. Those are a couple of headshots should do it. How are you still alive? Your head is full of holes. And last but not least, somebody's hiney is crowding my icebox. Somebody's cold one is giving me chills. Guess I'll just close my eyes. Oh yeah, alright, feels good inside. The first tier of enemies consists of normal super soldiers mixed with policemen because of law reasons, we'll get to it later. These enemies are numerous and they will try to outflank you and outsmart you every time the opportunity comes. Also, they can make barricades out of everyday objects that lie around the level, like tables, vending machines, and fridges. While they are not particularly strong, they sure as hell are intimidating. Let me paint you a picture. You're walking down a dark hallway with your flashlight on. Then you hear someone with a very distorted low voice shout, "Flashlight!" And your brain automatically kicks into survival. Oh shit, they know where I am. And there are two ways you can solve this problem. Either go there, guns blazing in slow-mo mode, but risk losing a lot of HP and shields, which you will need later on, or outplay them at their own game by becoming the apex military predator. Now you might think that it is so awesome that a game can alter the way you approach every situation in it just by audio or visual cues. I might think that you're getting too smart for your own good, so let's change the tier. Intermission time. This is an intermission. Look at the funny thing I found. Okay, bug. Very funny. What am I doing? The second tier consists of super soldiers. They are just like regular super soldiers, but I added a second super. They are more durable and strong and maybe a teensy bit clever. They know that they rock and they are not ashamed of how much they rock. The only way of dealing with them without ending up with 7 additional mouths is by using the environment to outsmart them. Be it a barrel on the other side of the room or a fire extinguisher that can explode with the force of 1,000 suns. Or just, hiding in corners. I guess it works too. The third and final tier consists of cheaters, basically. One of them is a walking tank with a bolt gun. The other is a literal miniature mech. The small one is a military nightmare drone of destruction that is Big Boss's worst nightmare. Because yes, in fact, war has changed. Oh, and don't get me started on the invisible ninja pricks. They eat half of your ammunition. I guess because half of their body is made up of sponges. And after you deal with them, they don't leave you any ammunition. So essentially, if you were not managing your ammo well, you're cooked to hell and beyond. One thing I particularly hate about these guys is that they hide in the dark, even though they are invisible. To add a bit more spooky into the mix. Now that I mention it, this game is really... For a game that was created in the year of our prince in Anushanka, me. F.E.A.R has an impressive lighting system. The light sources react in real time to changes in the environment and to your meddling. Let's say you shoot a light bulb, it starts spinning around the room, flickering, and it dims slowly before it stops dimming and your eyes hurt. While shooting at enemies, if you hit a wall a bunch of times, dust kicks up, and the only way of making stuff out through it is to turn on a flashlight, but that doesn't work that effectively, and it also gives your enemies your exact location. So you're fucked. Also, the flashlight has a certain charge, which does not last long because the US can't invest into bigger batteries, I guess. So you need to manage the flashlight charge and not run out of it during critical moments because it takes a while to recharge fully. And you're gonna need the full charge. Trust me. The environment and the light itself are a crucial part of the gameplay. Most of the time, they work against you. But once in a blue moon, the high ground is yours and everything is perfectly lit. Pew pew, let the death parade commence.
When I was a young boy.
When you're not fighting, you're crawling through cramped spaces, threading through industrial or corporate settings because nothing is more scary than a corporate job. And light puzzles, which are basic buffers between all of your fights. And they mostly go something like this. Either turn it off or find a different way to move forward, or see water no place, turn valve, water appear, swim through. Good job! The puzzles are very basic, but you don't play F.E.A.R for the puzzles, you play F.E.A.R for the challenging pew and horror. Also, the environment is somewhat interactable. By somewhat, I mean you can break a lot of glass and go through boxes, and they will move. I know it's not Half-Life 2 levels of, see this box? You can kill a person with it. At least the small movable objects are good horror material. They usually are close to items you really need, like medkits or body armor, so even if you notice them or try to be careful, you'll still inevitably make some of them fall down and scare yourself shitless. Guns. I refuse to do a tier list for guns in this game. Tier 1. Double Pistol. I like Double Pistol because you have become Death, the destroyer of Ragdoll. Tier 2. Everything else. The guns in this game follow invisible rules, and by invisible, I mean it goes from, normal to, did I just pulverize them? The guns have no chill. The world itself has even less chill because everybody is always better equipped than you. The only way of acquiring the fuck-off laser guns, the actual bolt gun that shoots bolts, and the pulverizer Extreme 9000 is by killing the better equipped guys and taking the guns for yourself. Which I guess implies that the government of the fictional US either does not know what it's dealing with or is beyond under-equipped. There are only 3 dudes who have to deal with the government-wide fuck-off army that has super soldiers and ultra-advanced military technology. Where did they get it from? And why don't I have the thunky pulverizer? Answer me, you ass! While I am not a gun connoisseur or am knowledgeable about guns at all, although the ability to assemble and disassemble an AK-47 is drilled into every child who goes to the 8th grade, I am pretty confident in saying that the guns in this game rule. They are funky, heavy, cool, and most importantly, you can nail people with a bolt gun. What else do you need in a game about psychic ghost super soldier people? The guns feel heavy and responsive, yet their motion is so fluid, especially in slow-mo mode. Rasus, I mentioned it, the way that the guns sound in slow-mo mode is so cool. With every shot you take, there's a corresponding thud that comes from a bullet casing falling down and hitting the ground. And depending on the surface on which you are on, the sound changes. There's also a thickness to the guns in slow-mo mode. Of course, the sound is slowed down, but they also added something to it that makes it soothing to my neuro brain. In general, the sound design of the guns is top tier, except for one gun, which sounds so out of place in the sea of goodness. It's like, there's a Russian saying that goes, "Ложка дегтя в бочке меда." It means that a single bad detail can ruin a great thing. This gun is that detailed, but overall, the guns in the game are marvelously made. Although there's a single gun that does not look par for the damage it does. It can literally insta-kill anyone and turn them into a skeleton. There's a whole section in the game in which you have to unlock unalive people with this gun. I'm guessing the developers were very proud of their work and they wanted the player to appreciate it, which is good. They should be proud. They did a great job. If the guns were bad, the game would go down from great to meh goodish. Just like the explosives, they are goodish, but no fault goes to the devs. I am the one who forgoes using them. I did as the saying goes, when in Rome and surrounded by 20 people with heavy artillery, while having the perfect moment to use the stockpile of C4 you have, do as the Romans do and almost die by jumping in guns blazing. Oh Romans, you should have used those explosives. Just so you know, I won't be recapping the whole story. I am not a recap kind of guy. I'm sure you'll find plenty of those videos in the wild, wild YouTube West. But I'll tell you the gist of it. There was a scientist who got contracted by the US of A to make telepathically communicating soldiers. He was like, I'm gonna start experimenting on my 5-year-old daughter, who is abnormal, initiation reference, aka has abilities. Very disgusting, very bleh. Said daughter started psychically attacking people because why wouldn't she? Then the father of a decade decided, yeah, let's put her in a coma and artificially impregnate her so she can give us little Ubermenschlings who we can experiment on. Mind you, she was 15 at the time. What the fuck? Then, lo and behold, one of the kids goes Super Saiyan because Alma, that's the name of the scientist's daughter, psychically linked herself with her son and killed 7 people. Our beloved father of a century decides it would be appropriate to kill his daughter and shut her off in a vault because of horror. But now some time has passed and Alma is back and she's seeking revenge through her sons, plural. Yes, the guy you play as is one of her sons. That is the plot twist. It's really iffy. I guess it explains your slow-mo powers, but it's really iffy. Oh, and Alma is back in the form of a ghost, sorta, kinda. It's complicated. Just like the way you're supposed to learn all of this. Most of the lore you get is through downloading stuff from laptops and having it narrated to you. Or thought ghost sessions / cutscenes. The game ends with you entering the vault where Alma died, killing your brother in the process. Then you turn the vault into a nuke and you run away from the explosion while ghosts attack you, who you shoot to kill. While you are running away from ghosts and God's wrath, you lose your gear 2 times. I was saddened, very much saddened. I was also saddened because I couldn't run away from the nuke in time and I got caught in the explosion, but or not because I am a super ubermensch, I survived the nuke. Happy end. Or is it? Yeah, that's it. That's the story. Expansion time.
Expansion time, gather all your friends. We're gonna go to distant lands. Expansion 1 and expansion 2. Except I didn't play expansion 2 because I didn't like it. Expansion time.
As the song previously mentioned, I only played one of the expansions because I lazy, and I heard the second one is bad. Also, I don't think the expansions are considered canon because they are made by a different company. Anywho, what is going on with the expansion? Denunk. The game is changing, that's what's going on. Extraction Point is like F.E.A.R on steroids. All action, all horror, all the time. It's like an all-out war. Everybody's fighting everybody and you're stuck in the middle, soiling yourself and shooting at walls and ghosts and replicas. And oh my god, they fucking killed Holiday! You bastard! Okay, let's de-escalate. The thing that the expansion doesn't do. There are new enemies, new guns, new locations, and they are not cramped? Well, most of them. And I actually get scared right out of my mind. Oui, mon ami. I love this expansion. It condensed all that is good about the game and improved all that is iffy. For example, now you can kick the doors open, which makes the game more dynamic and you feel more badass. Case in point.
Jackpot.
You have a new throwable item, the mini turret, straight from Balloon's TD6. And yes, when you throw them, replicas still shout grenade. I guess they didn't have the budget for the new voice lines. Also, the game showers you in weapons and explosives at every possible opportunity. It has to because you're literally dealing with hordes of enemies now. If the game didn't do so, you'd be naked, running away and shouting hide mid. There are also new enemies who pose a slightly bigger challenge, but I wouldn't call them all that hard. Well, except for the Giga Mecha. That fucker eats rockets for lunch. The new guns are pretty awesome, although getting a hold of them is pretty hard because only the new replica types have them. So kill away, my friend, till you find the plasma rifle and the minigun. To be honest, the new guns are worth the hassle. They are very OP. Look at what the plasma rifle did to this poor bastard. The expansion also improved on level design so that everything doesn't feel as repetitive. The levels are much more open, and enemies now come from all over the place. Thusly, you can't constantly stay in one place, hence why you need the turrets. They cover for you when you're busy eliminating replicas on the other side of the map. They also can be picked up after you put them down. Now, I get if you can pick up the one which is already in use or used, but if I accidentally threw a couple of them and I didn't mean to, then them's the breaks. While we are on the subject of enemies and everything around them, I'd like to point out that the replicas are so much more aggressive, or at least it seems so, because there are just so many replicas you have to handle now. If I didn't know better, I'd say that the AI is aware of the amount of troops attacking you, hence why some of them brazenly rush towards you. But I know better, and the answer is probably something super simple. Either way, the enemy AI has been improved, that's for sure. This whole expansion can be summarized as controlled chaos, as in you're never the one in control. Your ghost mother is, which reflects in the story of the expansion. The story picks up right after the end of the game. You survive a helicopter crash with your squad, Holiday and Jen, and bullshit ensues. Apparently your brother is not dead somehow. Even the game says, yeah, this doesn't make any sense, but go with it. Alma is angry and is either trying to kill you or help you or something like that. I didn't fully get it, honestly. It was trippy as hell. Well, besides the part where your mom literally kills a man in front of you. Like, leave me alone, mom. After the crash, and finding out the brother you killed is alive, you run through the city to get to the extraction point. You get it? That's the title. You go through construction sites where everything explodes, through the city where everything explodes, through the subway. The subway explodes, of course. Then you go through a parking lot which doesn't explode, and that parking lot leads to a laboratory / hospital where a lot of paranormal ghost psychic things happen. Basically, the story sequence is the Fellowship of the Ring, except everybody besides Frodo dies because Frodo is the son of Sauron. To be honest, I was too scared most of the time to pay attention to anything that is happening. The horror is very well executed. Yes, you can shoot ghosts with your gun, and yes, they will die, but before dying, they will hurt you a lot and scare you shitless by running all over the place and not giving a shit about proper etiquette. One thing I hate more than fascists are ghosts that don't follow the proper etiquette. I am not angry anymore. What a nice note to end on. To summarize, the game improved a whole lot, but the story is utter nonsense. Now let's move on to all the issues with this game and what went wrong while I was making this video. The number one problem that everybody will have with F.E.A.R is that after a couple of minutes of playing it, your frame rate will drop a significant amount. To solve this problem, you just need to search for what the hell is wrong with the game, and you will find a DLL that somehow fixes this. How? I don't know. It just works. And that's fine with me. The number two problem that everybody will have with F.E.A.R is in interval 8, when you enter the zone for point of entry, the game will automatically make you quit to main menu because of bullshit old game logic. To fix this, just lower the quality of textures to a minimum so that the game can load them properly. Et voila, you can now play point of entry. After the level loading, you can change the texture quality to max and play the game normally, but don't forget to do the same trick when loading interval 9, or the game will shit itself. Technical issues didn't stop there, they continued in the expansion. They were worse, to be honest. A lot of performance issues, and I was constantly encountering the issue of automatically quitting to the main menu. In the end, I thought I wouldn't be able to finish it and talk about it, but dialing texture quality to the minimum saved me from crying and not making this video. Okay, with this out the way, let's talk about the main weak points of the game. Locations are repetitive, and the levels overstay their welcome, especially the office one. It's like 1/4 of the game. It's cool and all, but I didn't like it that much. Once in a while, I was thinking to myself, when will this end? I want to move on, which is unprecedented for a game I like. Also, sometimes the game gets too dark. I know, it's for the purposes of horror, and I have a flashlight, and it's all dramatic, but my eyes hurt from all the contrasting light. I don't get how that works, it's just a pet peeve I guess, not a real issue. Like the office security, why even include them if they don't pose any sort of challenge, or do anything but be a way to make the game longer? And you know what's sad? I actually liked fighting them because they were easy, and if they are easy, that means I'll progress through the office faster. The whole part didn't make sense to me. And the mechas, why don't they drop any sort of explosives or rocket launchers? Their design suggests that it could be possible. Maybe it's cut content, I don't know. The biggest issue I have with F.E.A.R is this magnum-sized bastard. Throughout the whole game, he behaved like such a fucking asshole. I am angry that the game didn't let me kill him. He actively tried to kill me with fucking turrets. He bled out in front of me, and I couldn't even end his suffering because of in-game bullshit. What do you mean he survived and is in the expansion? Ah! If I had to rate the game, I'd give it The Concept of the Dark out of Paranormal Activity, the film. Yeah, I think this rating speaks for itself. While I was making this video, Warner Brothers closed Monolith Studio, the creators of F.E.A.R, which is sad because the studio was straight up revolutionary with their Nemesis system and like F.E.A.R as a whole. Well, I guess that's just the way things go, huh?